So I just got back from a family vacation trip in Hawaii, and I brought along with me two cameras, my iPhone and the GH5 Mark II over there. And in today's video I want to talk about what it is like to bring a camera to a vacation trip, especially when you are around lots of pools. We were at the Disney Resort in Hawaii and there were 6 pools, a lazy river, hot tubs, so basically lots of water. And although the iPhone isn't necessarily designed to be used underwater, it is somewhat water resistant, one might even say waterproof. So I did bring this into the pool to do most, if not all, of the pool shots. I brought this in there, got some really cool shots of the kids and the family. But I also brought along with me the GH5 Mark II with the intention of filming most of this trip, the IBIS functionality and the lens with it. So here's the GH5 sitting in a tripod. I'm using it to film myself right now at the moment, and I'm filming this with the iPhone. A few things I've noticed is that the GH5 it's got a big lens, and comparative sensor size compared to the phone, it's a much bigger lens. It's a micro four thirds lens, not as big as some of my other cameras, but it is quite a good camera to carry around, although somewhat big. I think as a travel camera, I'm so used to what's available in today's world that it felt a little cumbersome. I got the 12 to 60 f2.8 to f4 variable lens, and it felt kind of clunky. So I found myself using the iPhone almost exclusively for this trip. I did have the camera out for the first bit. I went through, we were filming, kind of getting to the airport on the airplane, and then when we got to the hotel room, what I realized, we were out in the pool area, what I realized was everyone had their phones, so it was pretty common to just have your phone laying around in a pocket, hidden, tucked away, but very few people actually carried around a mirrorless camera with a big lens, and that just seems like an item that's ripe for theft, and so I just didn't feel comfortable leaving it out in the poolside or leaving it out anywhere. And it's a sensitive piece of equipment. It's not designed to be out in the sun, splashed with the water from the beach. And so this camera actually spent most of its time in the hotel room, and I did some time lapse, carried it out every once in a while, but all the shots that I really wanted to take, all the time lapse out on the beach, I ended up using the iPhone. And so just from a form function, your best camera is the camera you have with you, and so in my case it's the iPhone. I needed it to get maps, directions, I needed it to text my kids and family and keep in touch with the world, and so this was the camera I had with me. This was not a camera that was useful for this trip, because unless I plan on just being around with on the side and not getting into the pool, it wasn't something I could bring into the water. It attracted a lot of attention. I think when you're out in a public pool and you're shooting with a big camera, no one wants to be on it. But if you got your phone and you're shooting, everyone has their phone. And so it's become socially acceptable to have a phone, but not necessarily one of these cameras. And so now I'm rethinking just what I'm using to create these videos. Could I be really creating everything on this phone? Maybe. I probably could. I'm actually recording audio externally with the Blue Yeti mic. It's sitting off camera right here, right now. I'm going to sync those two up in post.
Wait, were you filming?
So if you watched this far, thanks for watching. I am back. It was a nice restful trip. I'm excited to work on new content. but also just really start thinking about what is a cinema camera, what is a video camera. I have now 3 types of cameras. I have my iPhone, I have the GH5, which is mirrorless, and also a Fuji X-T3, 2 mirrorless cameras, and I have my Z-Cam, which is beginning to get into that cinema camera phase. But the lines are getting blurry. I think the technology everywhere is innovating fast, and I'm finding that you might not want to invest into one system overly, because high dynamic range on this camera, incredible. Computational photography, it does all the processing. Just the video files that come out of this is pretty good. Definitely not as good as the GH5. I found that the GH5 had more dynamic range that I could play around with and edit later on. But in terms of workflow, in terms of producing a video quickly, this is the clear winner right here. I was very surprised that how satisfied I was with using this as opposed to my mirrorless camera. But I guess that's the reality of the future. So let me know what you think. Do you use a mirrorless camera? Are you into cinematography, or are you just using iPhone, Android cameras? And are they good enough? One might argue that this will continue to get better, and especially with the computational capabilities of this, it will be superior to that. And so for the average person, I mean, everything you need is in here, but how can we make this look and sound more like this? And that will be the premise of what I'm going to be working on in the future soon, is bringing together audio components, video components, bringing everything together and figuring out better ways to capture and document our lives. So thanks for taking a break with me, and I appreciate everyone. I am coming up on 300 subscribers, so hopefully by the time we get to this, we will have crossed that threshold. It is really exciting for me because I am doubling down even further and continuing to invest in this channel. So thanks for joining me. Leave a comment below on what kind of content you like, and I'll see you soon.